saying men leave us to find better. No, girl, did you see your behavior? It's the same for Lenny and Lisa. Can't take her anymore. The first divorce for the Austin. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay, you guys, let's flip over to Vanderpump Rules. Dun 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 dun. All right, let's get into Vanderpump Rules. I'm also going to drop the link in case anybody wants to come up. No pressure at all. Let's switch to Vanderpump. First, what are you guys thinking about this season? You know, is it giving what you think it was going to give? Do we care? Is it interesting? Is it fun? Is it coming in hot? What are your thoughts in general on the new season? I'm going to go down the row and just say what I think about all the people, okay? Let's do it. All right. Here we go. Raquel. Ugh, what can I say about I really felt for her when she started crying on her quote date with Peter. And she said how she was suffering from depression and she was on an all carb diet, you know, since she basically was able to stop starving herself because she's done doing the pageants, you know, and we can see that, you know, she looks different. Which I think is good, you know, now that she's eating more regularly, she looks more fleshed out. She just looks healthier and not so gaunt and all of that. So I definitely felt for her with that. But if I'm being honest, I just don't get queen bee energy from Raquel. You know, and I feel like they're really trying to push Raquel down our throats as like the new Vanderpump Rules it girl. Hey, Nataski.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey. Yeah, we can hear you. So I just don't get that chick energy from Raquel at all. I don't get it. I think she's cute.
Yeah,
I
me
think she's
either.
nice. I'm happy to have her to be a supporting person, but I'm not with it. I actually felt very icky with the whole her and Peter storyline. It gave Predator cringe vibes. And don't even get me started on Scheana. But let me go real quick on Scheana. Scheana, to me, I don't know what it is about her, but this season, I don't know if she just turned evil overnight, but she is giving me evil vibes. I don't understand why she is not. Let me put it this way, and let me be clear about what I'm talking about. When Scheana and Raquel were, it wasn't this episode, it was the first episode. It was after the whole party and stuff. And Raquel was talking to Scheana, and Scheana was like, oh, do you remember making out with Peter, you know, at the restaurant at a table? And Raquel was like, no, like I was blacked out. I don't remember. And she's like, oh, well, you were. You don't remember? And then she was like, oh, did Peter take you home? Did you guys make out again? And she was like, oh, I think he slept on the couch, but I don't remember. I was blacked out. I don't know why Scheana wasn't like, that's really sketchy and that's really weird. Why is he taking you to your house while you're blackout drunk and he is acting like he doesn't get the clue that you don't want to be with him and then staying over? There was no need for him to stay. And then the reason why I'm not blaming, but the reason why I'm coming hard on Scheana for this is that in the next episode, she's saying to Raquel, oh, you're leading him on. Do you know what I mean? She's like, oh, you're leading Peter on. You need to tell him this, blah, 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 all of that stuff. And to me, I'm just like, why are you acting like Raquel is leading someone on when she's clearly saying to him, like, this isn't it? I don't like it. Scheana, to me, her whole energy was whack. And what she's going to do to Katie. Now, we all know Katie can be a Debbie Downer, wah energy. I'm excited to see Katie this season without Tom Schwartz. We've never seen her single. We've never seen her on her own. I'm excited for that. But Scheana, you are dead ass wrong for trying to get Tom Schwartz to date. You're like, not like she's not dating, and then trying to set up Raquel and Tom. That is so wrong. And we're going to see more of it in the next episode.
Wait, Scheana tries to set up Raquel and Tom. She's responsible for that?
Yes.
Ew.
Yes, we're going to see it on the next episode.
You're giving us Tarz's a bad name. I'm a little upset with you.
Yep, she does it on her Shenanigans podcast.
You know what? I remember that. Did that happen on the show, or was that? See, I get confused with real life and the show now because everything's so mixed up.
Mm-hmm. Well, they obviously, while filming, they do a scene where she's interviewing Tom Schwartz for her podcast.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
And so that's while filming. And then on the show, on the podcast, she's talking about, Tom and being with other girls and being like, oh, maybe you and Raquel. And as we know, Tom and Raquel end up actually hooking up. And then Raquel says the only reason why something between me and Tom didn't go further is because Katie stopped it. Because remember, Katie's one boundary was like, just don't date anybody in the friend group. And I get that. You can call me petty. You can call me whatever you want. I'm not the one. If I date someone and if you have ever said hello to me, you better not even look at him. Ever.
Right?
Ever. Like, I am not the one.
I
am very, I don't know.
And to be fair, I'm with that with my friends too.
Yeah.
I like, if you've ever like looked at my friend in a romantic way, there's zero chance.
Mm-hmm.
0.
100%. I'm also like this, Patty. You guys, don't judge me. Don't judge me.
Not the pre-sip.
I am this petty where I'm like best friends with my ex from college. And I'm not going to say his name because, privacy. But he's like one of my dearest friends. We talk all the freaking time. And I told him, I was like, if you ever befriend, and not even hook up with, I was like, if you befriend any of these girls, and I just named every single girl, I will never talk to you again. And he was like, okay.
And you're like, it sounds like I'm joking, but I'm being dead serious. And
no,
you might as well
joking.
write them down.
I wasn't joking. I was dead serious. I was like, you can be friendly, but like, you just love me more, and I'm the number one person forever.
I know. One of my toxic traits, I get pretty territorial.
Oh yeah. But
but I feel like it's a fine line between being territorial and loyal.
Yes, exactly. 100%. And I'm very, very self-aware with it. Like, I'm not delusional or non-self-aware. I'm like, no, this is who I am. And I radically accept myself for exactly who I am. And this is what's up. And you're going to love me unconditionally. Thanks.
Okay. This is going to sound really bad, but I can't help but notice. I really would see. Katie doesn't do herself any favors. What is she wearing in this promo pic?
Katie's been whack when it comes to fashion for a very, very long time.
This is like
very whack. Yeah.
Look at all the other girls, and what is Katie wearing? Like, girl, now's not the time to take chances.
Exactly.
This pic is forever.
Exactly. I don't know what the hell Katie's wearing. But when it comes to the Katie versus Scheana beef, on this one, I'm Team Katie.
Me too.
I'm Team Katie.
I actually saw a side, I feel like I have the capacity that even though like someone's not my favorite, or I don't even know if we would be friends in real life, I can still see their side if like what's happening is right, wrong,
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely had empathy for Katie when she was having that talk with Tom, when she's like, you chose everything from me, because it really was, and that had been going on for so long. And I really feel like that really killed Katie's spirit over time.
100%. And I don't think we ever got to see the real Katie, because she was always so worried about babysitting her boyfriend, then her fiance, then her husband. And it's like, you can't be your full self if you are distracted and worried about babysitting somebody else. And I think Tom's personality is very toxic, where he is able to make everybody else do his dirty work for him, you know? And you could also tell that, and Tom has also admitted that he cheated on Katie while they were married. He said, "Oh, I was a drunken mess and I made a lot of mistakes." So he was saying he was like cheating on her.
I would see Tom would make me see red all the time.
Potato chips. But also, this was also very, very telling. And this broke my heart for Katie. When Tom was talking about, "Oh, I was watching The Notebook," and he was like, "Oh, that's what I wish I had in my life. That's what I wish we had in our relationship." And that's when he realized, well, not realized, but that's when he was saying how, you know, he understood the divorce. Basically being like, there was no love and there was no passion in our relationship, in our marriage. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I felt so bad for Katie, because imagine being her in that situation where everybody doesn't like you because your husband or your boyfriend villainizes you all of the time. You know what I mean? And then you can't actually be your full self because you feel stifled and babysat. And then he's out there cheating on you. And then you're not even having sex. And then he's put Tom Sandoval above you. And then he puts the restaurant above you. It's just a mess. I'm also interested in seeing the demise. And maybe this isn't not that I want there to be a demise, but I'm interested in seeing it, since there is one, between Tom Sandoval and Tom Schwartz.
I feel like that there's a ticking time bomb with that.
I think it's about to blow up, because I wasn't able to read the full thing, but I think Tom Sandoval is trying to separate his business from Tom Schwartz. He's starting his own LLC, and there's some type of rift there.
Oh, really?
I also don't. I got to do a deeper dive into it. I also don't believe in Ariana and Tom Sandoval's relationship. I think that relationship died a long time ago. And I think they're just holding on because they have a house and for the show.
Ariana does not look fulfilled.
No, she looks very sad. She's talked about being depressed. She looked really upset.
She was sitting on that couch, like, just kind of like, "Thanks for including me," but kind of being like, Yeah. I also forgot something. Remember when Katie told us about how she had that super traumatic injury before meeting Tom? So like Katie had like a super traumatic like injuries, like where she almost died, fell through a skylight.
Yeah.
Which is one of my biggest fears, by the way.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that happened to her, and then she like got involved with Tom, and like no wonder. You know? Sad.
Yeah, it is really sad. It's very sad. And also you could tell that in both Ariana and Katie's relationships, they weren't having sex. And I'm sorry, but like when let me not get too personal. In general, if you're not having sex with your person, it's a huge sign. But no, what I was going to say was,
it is true.
I've never been in a relationship where the sex goes. Personally,
me neither.
But but just in general, if the sex is gone, what is the relationship?
I don't know.
It
means there's not like intimacy, and you don't have that certain type of attraction. Then like you're just left with like a friendship.
100%. And sometimes it's even just like a roommate ship. Which is what it seems Ariana and Tom Sandoval are. They're like, we're like two, ships in a night passing. She comes in, he's leaving. He's leaving, she comes in. You know what I mean? And then she said how they're not doing date nights. They're not having sex. There's no companionship there. And they said he was out here doing him, dipping it and doing it, with his little band or whatever he's doing, and not really being present with her. So it's like, what is he doing? And
so he took time out for himself and not to help his relationship. Knowing that it was suffering.
Exactly. It just left her high and dry. And also don't forget, he sabotaged her book. Remember when Ariana was coming out with the cocktail book, and it was supposed to be her book. It was like a cocktail recipe book. And he was so narcissistic and disgusting. He was like, well, if anybody should get a cocktail book, it should be me. And then he made it so that him and her were doing it together. And then they had a falling out with whoever was publishing it or co-writing it or whatever. They had a huge falling out. I think they did end up doing the book, but I don't think it was successful as it could have been if Ariana had just done it on her own. Because Tom and Tom are sloppy. They sabotage themselves and others. And nothing that they've done has really come to fruition, really. Sure, they have, Swartz and Sandy's, but like the guy said in the episode, they have no idea what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like, he was, like, ragging on them hard.
Because they don't know what they're doing. They don't.
He's like, you left me with them. I'm so mad at him. And you can tell that she was like, why do you think I only gave him, like, 5% or whatever?
Yeah. Basically, this is what Lisa Vanderpump did. She was like, I'm going to give you 5%, 1%, 5, whatever the heck percent it was, in order to basically license your likeness. That's basically what she did. I wanted to license your name, and I wanted to leverage your social media presence and like the brand equity that you have from the show that I put you on, basically, for the restaurant. But they didn't really have any real say-so and or control. And Lisa did the right thing. She basically licensed their likeness. That's basically what she did. And that's what she said to the guy. She was like, just leverage their social media, leverage their, their personality, their je ne sais quoi. But other than that, you can't really look at them for anything.
Yeah, she was like, their only strengths are like their social presence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 100%. What do you think about, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. What were you going to ask?
Oh, I was going to say, what do you think about James and his new girlfriend and Raquel?
Okay, I just think like the new girlfriend, I don't know. I just think that's weird.
I agree.
It's given me weird.
I agree.
Okay, so like Raquel, like I've always kind of been annoyed by her. I don't know how to articulate it, but I feel like I've met people like her before and they've always annoyed me. And like, it sounds really mean, but I can almost see why Lala used to go nuts on her.
No, totally.
And like lose her SHIT. But I don't know. I'm not even gonna say it's like I don't even know if she's a good person or not. I feel like she definitely plays one, but like I can't, like I don't know. I don't think she's as innocent either. But then again, I can definitely see how she's lost. That was ridiculous when she was crying on that date. I felt
really bad for her. I thought that was actually one of the moments where I actually connected with her the most. Like,
no, I'm just saying it was ridiculous that she was like having that realization, and it was supposed to be like this date, and he like didn't know what to do. But you're right, like she was actually being honest.
Yeah,
and she was coming to the realization that, basically she was aging out on something that she's always kind of done.
Yeah,
which can be hard.
It can definitely be hard. And I think she was having a very real moment. Like for me, when it comes to like James, Raquel, and Allie, and somebody said I was bullying Allie. I was like, I don't know her, so I can't physically be bullying her. But anyway, I stand by what I said. Allie is a weirdo to me. There's something off.
There's something off.
And I stand by that 100%. Like, I think she might be like an alien or something. Like, I don't know what it is about her.
She looks like almost like a cartoon character of
There's
like
something artificial about her.
Not human. Uncanny Valley kind of.
Like, I feel like she would like taser Raquel and like suck out her soul or something. You know what I mean? When she was like, it's like we switched lives. I was like, this chick, Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
I was like, Raquel, back away slowly.
She's another lifetime single white female waiting to happen. Like, what in the hell? What in the hell? There's something very just weird and like unsettling about her. I think James needs to not be in any relationship. I think he needs to focus on getting back his sobriety, and I think he needs to focus on his own healing for himself. He's extremely codependent, and do I think he's still in love with Raquel? I do, but I think he would do better with actually just being alone. Like, people forget that your choice isn't your ex or your current. Your choice is your ex, your current, or yourself, just being alone, right? And people miss out on the beauty of being alone, of being single, of being figuring out yourself. And I think that's really missing with James. I don't think him and this Allie person are in it for the long haul. It was crazy. Barbara, exactly. I could see James' new girlfriends on an episode of Snapped. You took the words out my mouth.
Wait, she said Tom's new girlfriend. Tom has a girlfriend?
Oh, I'm sorry. James' new girlfriend. James.
No, Barbara says Tom's new girlfriend looks weird to me.
Tom's new girlfriend looks weird to me. Something in her eyes looks off. Maybe she meant James.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Hey, Jacob.
Hey, Jacob. What's up, sweetheart?
Hey there. Oh, my goodness. Vanderpump.
Chime in.
I thought this episode was good. Definitely better. I don't know. Better than last week, I think.
Yes.
I don't know. There was a lot of crying. There was a lot of which is fine. I think that it was it seemed like a real moment from Raquel. I was like, oh, okay, wow. Like, this is unexpected because it really came out of nowhere. I was like, oh, okay. And I don't know. I mean, all that speculation with Lala and Randall, I was just like, is she pretending?
You know what? I'm just getting like this weird flashback, and this is crazy, but I really feel like I did that on like a date I didn't care about before.
Yeah.
Because it's like I wasn't trying to impress them and I didn't care. And then like they brought up something that was like kind of bothering me. And I was like, and then I'm like, sorry. I just like had this weird flashback. Dating's really hard. Okay, bye.
It's fine. It's fine. I mean, I could tell that Raquel was going through it. And I think this is the very beginning of us seeing her like, break down to build back up. But I definitely see that in her. And I like Raquel. I actually think I think she genuinely is a good person, but she does not have an it factor. She doesn't have that energy. She doesn't have that vibe. Like, she's not that girl. She
doesn't have that personality. Yeah,
she's a supporting character. Sorry. And then when it comes to Lala and Randall, I think Lala I agree with Jacob. I think she's acting in some of the scenes with her like, I can't believe it. And I didn't think you thought that about me. And like, I didn't know. I think Lala knew a lot more than what she's saying, particularly with how she got him. I think she knew he was married. I think she knew he was cheating. She knew he had kids and she didn't care. And now she wants to have revisionist history. Like, oh, he tricked me with all of this. And, I was crying. And the therapist said, oh, no, like the wife's a codependent and all of this, that, and the third. Girl, bye. Shut up. You were in Vanderpump Rules talking about you were given BJs for Range Rovers. You had no problem. Lala missed me with that. Do I think she knew about the inappropriate allegations with children? No, I think that might be a surprise to her. But do I think the fact that he was allegedly using assistants to run drugs, the fact that he was defrauding his investors, the fact that he was using his power for a casting couch, the fact that he was cheating and a cheater, I don't think any of that was too much of a surprise. I think that
I think the extra dark stuff, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that she probably started to learn more and more over time. Like, I don't think in the beginning she knew. I think she thought the way all of us thought, oh, this is Randall Emmett. He's this big producer, blah, 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 blah. He's friends with 50 Cent. He's friends with all of these really famous people. You would just think that. But I think over time she knew. And I actually think the only reason why she left him was because the money no longer resided there. And I think that if he still had money, she would still be with him.
I don't think if she found out about the children thing though. Because I think her
Yeah. Not the children part. The children part, obviously, yeah. Because she
forget that Lala was only one of the only few, like, quote unquote celebs that even denounced the whole Balenciaga thing.
Yeah.
And she called people out. She's like, why aren't y'all talking about this? She was super real about that. And I'll forever give her props.
Self-serving. That's also self-serving, right? Because of course, she's going to talk about Balenciaga because the whole thing was about being inappropriate with children, which is the same exact allegation against Randall. Now, if you took that aspect out, do you think Lala would be inclined to talk about Balenciaga? I bet you she wouldn't say anything. I bet you she wouldn't say anything about it. But that's also very self-serving, because of what he's also being accused of. What'd you say?
I could kind of see that. I feel like I don't think it's 100% either or, if that makes sense. I think that, yeah, there is a little bit of incentive there for sure. I can't deny that. But I think there was some genuine, like, outrage.
And I think the genuine outrage came from the fact that Randall Emmett, the father of her child and her ex-fiance, has those same exact allegations. That is why she has that genuine rage about it, because it's triggering, because that's what his allegations are. Whereas I think that if Randall did not have those allegations come out, I don't think she would have that same trigger guttural response to it, because you're usually up in arms about something that you feel connected to.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that it's disingenuous. I do think it's genuine, but I think it's because that's what the father of her child is being accused of. That's what her ex-fiance is being accused of. So of course it's going to hit.
You're saying if she didn't have a connection or personal connection to that kind of story, she wouldn't have been as brave or whatever.
I don't think she would have been as vocal about going against Balenciaga if the content of what was going about it didn't hit directly close to home.
Yeah, I guess what you're saying there. That makes sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's like you watch something and it's like, say your mother passes away from breast cancer, and then you see something about breast cancer, and now you want to advocate for it or talk about it. Of course, because that is a personal thing to you that you are identifying with. You know what I mean? Or anything tragic like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, you guys. The cough that just won't leave. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let's see. Stella Rose says, men don't respect airheads like Lisa. I like her, but she's way too shallow. I can understand how Lenny lost interest. Oop. Damn, Stella.
Oh my God.
That was how you really feel. Strawberry and Candy says, Tobias shows up with a sprinkle negativity. All we need, laughing my AF. I love it. Barbara says, I didn't watch the last season, but I'm enjoying this season a lot. I agree. Same. I did not watch Vanderpump Rules last season, but I'm really enjoying this season. I agree 100%. Miss T says, hello. Hey, sweetheart. Tobias says, I don't watch this. Oh, no. We love it. We love it. We love it. A vixen forever says Raquel is a lost poor baby. What do you guys think about this season and everything else going on?
Where is Raquel from again? Is she from like the Midwest or something? Because she does seem I don't know. I just imagine her being so uncomfortable most of the time. Just like, I don't know. I don't see her doing the LA like model or influencer. Mm-hmm. Like I do see her more as what did she say she wanted to do? Be a vet or something?
Yeah, veterinarian, I think it was.
Or something.
Something like that. A podiatrist.
Was it a podiatrist?
Something like that. It was something like that. A vet.
I thought it was a juvenile physical therapist.
Physical therapist.
Physical therapist.
Yeah.
What? Yes.
Yeah, I think she's from like a small town in either SoCal or NoCal.
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't think this is the
not like LA.
No, she's not an LA girl.
No.
I don't think this is her avenue. I mean, because she seems quite sensitive and a little like fragile, and I don't know. I mean, I think to make it in whatever she's trying to do, don't you got to be a little, I don't know, just tougher? And I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just like, Raquel, please.
No, Jacob, I agree with you 100%. I think that she doesn't have, there's a certain type of, what's the word are we looking for? Acumen. A certain type of acumen, a certain type of understanding, a certain type of savviness that you have to have in order to survive in entertainment. You know, whether it's a reality show, a musician, an actor, whatever it is, there's a certain type of quality that you have to have. And I just don't think she has it.
It's kind of like that grit, that kind of street smarts, kind
Yeah.
of hustle.
She
Yeah.
doesn't have it. And even the people we don't like, they still have it. Do you know
Right.
what I mean? They still
Mhm.
have it. Like Scheana
Sheena hustles.
Scheana
Homegirl hustles.
she is a hot mess this season, though. I don't
Yeah.
know what happened. You know what it is? I think Scheana is really suffering from the syndrome we see a lot. Miserable, bitter Bettys. I think she realized that she got set up for the okie doke from Brock. I don't think Brock is making any money, and he's probably milking her dry. I think she realizes that he just ain't it, but her ego and her pride won't admit it because everybody warned her. Why are you getting married to a man who has, a DV allegation? Why are you getting married to a man who does not pay child support for the children he already has? Why are you getting married to a man who does not even see the children he already has, but you thought it was a good idea to get knocked up by this man? Why are you getting married to a man who you have to lend money to and do a little, agreement, which I don't know if small claims court is going to, uphold that little agreement you made with him. Why are you getting married to a man like that? That's the type of person you think is going to be a good life partner. A man you have to give money to, and a man who does not support nor see his own children.
Scheana notoriously bankrolls a lot of her love interests.
Yeah. And what was her ex-husband, Mike?
Yeah.
Poor
Mike. Mike Shea. Oh, Mike Shea. I hope he's okay.
Me too.
I hope he's okay.
I really never understood their breakup. I don't even remember. I feel like it wasn't fully explained, like the true details.
They were probably hiding stuff. I don't think it was just alcohol.
No, he was on pills. He was on pills.
Oh, right. But I think they were hiding even more. Like, I'm just like,
definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. They don't really say the full bad thing. Like, I'm just like, are we skiing or what? Because there's that.
Are we double black diamonding or no?
Yeah, I think it was skiing and probably like prescription pills and like all of that stuff. Yeah, but the sad part is Mike is actually a really nice person.
Yeah, he does seem like that.
He's a genuinely really nice person. And he was a DJ and working in music and all that stuff. He was really, really nice.
Huh.
Yeah, he's a really nice person.
Is he the one that produced Good as Gold or whatever?
I'm sure he produced all her music.
Her top.
Oh, goodness. Hit. Well, let me tell you, that's not something to brag about. So,
right.
That music, what the heck? Yeah. But I don't know. When it comes to Brock, he's kind of weird. I mean, obviously, he's very weird.
Yeah.
There's an inner rage inside of him.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Supposedly, he owns 2 or 3 of those F45, like those group fitness classes. Have you heard of those?
Oh God, is that a marketing level scheme?
No. No, I've actually taken classes there. It's
okay.
It's like a franchise, so it's they hire trainers and they do group fitness classes. And supposedly he owns 1 or 2 or 3 or something. I know he mentioned it on the show. And
I thought he had like an app he was trying to do or something.
Oh, goodness. I mean...
But it failed.
Oh.
Okay.
It was like something over the pandemic. I don't know. I thought maybe I'm wrong.
No, I have no idea. So I'm wondering, is this where he gets paid from? I don't know. I'm pretty sure I remember I was on his LinkedIn once because I was like, oh, I wonder what he says on here.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay,
I know he mentioned the F45, and And then I remember he said that he was like wanted to be a NFL draft pick. I was like, what? So I don't know.
Isn't he a little bit too old for that? No offense.
Well, how old is he?
I don't know.
He's in his 30s. That's like hardly draft time. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that ship has sailed.
oh good. Yeah, I don't know what any of these people do, honestly. And honestly, most of these people gotta go. Like we
Yep.
Like, what is she doing on this show at this? Like, why is
I
she
feel
there?
like it's like almost like obligatory that she's there. It's like, but what are you actually doing? What are your interactions? Like, what are your storyline with other cast members? What's happening?
Well, I guess she's about to get us started with Katie and Tom, so that's what it seems like is about to happen.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know. Oh, and the wedding, right?
That's right. She gets married on the show.
I forgot.
For a second time.
Oh, goodness.
Hopefully not, because she got married to Shay on the show. Remember she had the crop top?
Yeah.
So she got married to Shay on the show. She got divorced from Shay on the show. And now she's going to marry Brock on the show.
She had a kid on the show. Yeah.
And I feel like Scheana is kind of going to be like the Kyle, where she's going to come in. She's going to drop little nuggets, stir up the pot, get people to, oh, remember this person said this, or this person said that. That's why the whole thing with her and Raquel and Peter was so awkward and forced, because you could tell Scheana was just trying to create the storyline. Oh, you and Peter did this. Oh, you're leading him on. I'm going to leave. Oh, what's going on there? And it just seemed like you're not even actually listening to what this girl is saying to you in the situation that's actually going on. And I just personally thought it was very irresponsible for the narrative to be that it was somehow Raquel's, the onus is on her to make a guy stop trying to get with her, where the guy should just maybe stop. And maybe
clearly she was on like a mission.
Understood that if a girl is blacked out, you simply don't engage in any sexual contact with her.
Yeah, especially when you're 40. I mean,
yeah,
exactly.
It gave like, I'm on a mission for a storyline. I'm pulling in Ashley.
Yeah.
In and out. It's irrelevant what you even respond to me.
Probably
100%.
Because why is Peter? I mean, Peter hasn't been a main character on the show ever. And I'm just like, wow, Peter, you really can't get a spot on the opening credits. Not at all. Not ever.
Like, do you think
they even got the random? They got the random black manager from Tom Tom on the opening credits, but they don't have Peter. Like, that's how important you are.
Peter's been like numero uno since day one, and he still can't catch a break.
Because he doesn't have it either. As annoying as Tom and Tom are, they do have, just like Lisa said, they do have a presence. They have a je ne sais quoi. They have an energy. They have a personality that you can capitalize on. But Peter, to me, has always just seemed really slimy and sleazy. He seems to me like the guy in the group that just waits for the girls that the other
drunk girls
didn't pick to get really, really drunk and then take them. Yep. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's like that slimy, gross, predatory type vibe to me. Peter ain't it. And then I'm really interested to see what goes down between Scheana and Katie when Scheana tries to get Tom and Raquel together. And then I want to see what is the rift between Lala and Katie. Because right now, Lala and Katie are friends, but I've been reading headlines that they had some beef going on.
They apparently made up on the plane right before Watch What Happens Live.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they said. They were like, yep, we were yelling on the plane, but we squashed it.
What in the world?
Yelling on the plane.
So yeah, I don't know, because I thought they were like basically a unit this season. So that's going to be, I'm curious to find out what happens.
I agree.
Oh, I don't think Katie and Tom should have ever gotten married, first of all. I don't think
Nope.
As soon as Tom became a main character on the show and we saw more of their relationship, I was like, they need to break up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they kept staying together. I was like, this is really weird. And I don't know. Why are they so shocked that they didn't stay together? Like, because
we weren't.
Everyone knew that they were going to break up. We all knew that.
I think Katie's under the stage where she's realizing that she should have realized way sooner and she's almost like mourning. She's almost like sad for her old self. It's like, oh, poor girl. Like, I feel bad for you. Like you sat there in this unhappy marriage, hoping that things were changed, and they were never going to. And I feel like she's kind of like grieving for her old self, because it is kind of sad. And she's like, how did you not see this? I don't know. That's just the vibe I get from her.
What old self? How old?
Yeah.
Years, all this mess. 12 years?
Exactly. That's why I'm like,
like,
I think this is the thing. I don't think Katie's grieving her old self. I think Katie is I think Katie's actually over it. You know, she's dating, she's doing her thing, but there's still the territorialness of like, for history, don't hook up with anybody in the group. And I totally get that. Like, I could be over my ex, but I'm still like, if you're my friend, you better not get with him. You know, like, absolutely not. But don't forget that Tom and Katie were the original Juan and Robin. And what I mean by this is, when Tom and Katie got married on the show, they weren't actually married.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Remember?
Oh, yeah.
They basically lied to everybody and said that they actually got married, but it was not legally
Tom
binding.
conveniently forgot to get the paper signed.
Exactly. They don't know what happened to it, blah, blah, blah. But they were on TV faking and fronting like they got married. And then only a couple years later, it came out that they weren't. And then they went to Vegas and got a quickie marriage. So they were the original Juan and Robin, faking marriages and faking being together.
Vegas.
They just never should have told it. Like, let us believe the lie. You know, we all were like, why are you getting married?
Yeah, because no one was really investigating it. We wouldn't have found out.
No, and it actually made more sense that they didn't actually get married, because I don't think anybody believed in their relationship anyway.
I mean, the things they would say to each other, I'm just like,
yeah.
When he poured a beer on her
That's
head,
why your D doesn't work. I was like, ooh, girl.
Yeah, I was like, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
And
he would always call her
when
fat.
Do you
remember he called her fat? He was like, we need to get sexy back, Katie.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
When she gained weight. Yeah.
And Tom, remember Tom was saying something how he like thought he was asexual, like literally asexual.
Oh, I think I remember
he, like, questioned his sexuality.
Yep.
That is now. See, no, Katie.
Yeah, like absolutely not.
Yeah, he was basically in a relationship with Tom Sandoval. That's really what was going on. Let's call the thing a thing. Tom and Tom have always been in a relationship, except for now they're breaking up.
Y'all, I just got this weird like Mama Cleo where I really feel like, do you think they're like they secretly have done? Because you know, there's like
Tom
this
and Tom?
Yeah.
Yes, of course they have.
What?
In my humble opinion.
I really like, it's just like this just flood came in where it seemed like I was like, wait, I could see it, because apparently there's this rumor that like Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, and that's why the Rolling Stones always stayed together, because they had low key, and so that's why that kind of like kept their friendship together. I don't know.
I think they have, but I think that the thrill is gone between the two of them.
Yeah.
Because they got into business together, and business will either make any relationship, whether it's friendship or romantic, either it will define you or it will break you. Particularly the restaurant business, which is an extremely, extremely difficult business to be successful in.
That's what that guy was saying. He was like, I've seen families destroyed, marriages
destroyed, and people becoming homeless from it. It's a very, very difficult to be
not
successful
for the faint of heart.
And that's why they're saying Tom and Tom, there's a rift now in their friendship, and Tom is trying to do his own thing. Tom Sandoval is trying to launch his own LLC and do his own business stuff and trying to separate it. So
Miss T,
big
you're
thing.
So right. She goes, I also think Jax got in on some of Tom's action too.
Well,
I think Jax wanted to.
Remember Tom and that guy from Florida?
I think Jackson James got it
exactly.
on. I think Jackson James got it on.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think it was Jackson James. That's why they always had so much tension. There was always so much friction between the two of them. I think it was sexual tension.
Oh my.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I definitely believe that James and that one guy.
Oh, Logan.
Yeah, what was that about?
Yeah.
That was so random. And he was on this week's episode. I was like, who is that?
They're still friends. They're all still friends.
I was like, I know who that is.
Logan works at Tom and Tom. Tom. Logan works at Tom.
Yeah, it was weird because I was like, I know who that is. I don't know if they show his name on the bottom because I was like, who is that?
They did, yeah.
Oh, well, I definitely missed it because I was like, who in the world is that? And then it clicked. I was like, wait a minute.
Yep.
Yeah, because it looked familiar.
Yep.
It's been like 4 or 5 seasons.
Yep.
What in the world?
I think Logan was telling the truth. I think all of them have dabbled, participated. I think Jax naturally goes both ways, but I think that he probably prefers women, but he will be gay for pay.
Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, that guy
basically said it.
Like what Natasha said about that guy that they brought up from Florida where they used to live, like who owned the apartment or something. And I was like, this is a mess.
And then you guys, I forgot what season it was, but it was when Ariana was with Tom, so maybe like one of the later seasons. But there was a moment, and I'll see if I can find the clip. They were joking or laughing about something. And then Tom and Tom were going in to kiss each other, and they weren't going to stop. And Ariana said, hey, whoa, stop, you guys. Do you guys remember this?
I don't.
I can't put the context of the scene. I got to find the scene. But then again, I got to be careful because NBC and Bravo are trying to shut down channels showing any footage. Wrong road, NBC. Wrong road. Because if they continue down this avenue, they're going to go Bravo's not going to exist anymore.
Yeah, I think it's the 70-year-old executives who don't really get it.
They don't get it. And they're listening to the wrong people. Because I heard that the girls from New Jersey are really spearheading it.
Melissa, supposedly, right?
Exactly.
Oh, Melissa,
if you're listening to the wrong freaking people, this is not the way to be. Melissa, if you want to keep your skeletons in the closet, don't be on a reality show faking and fronting in our faces. Because this is
problem solved. Bye.
But they are going on the wrong road. Listen, NBC, Bravo execs, if you're listening, let me give you some free advice. Wrong road. What you need to do instead of trying to shut us down is you need to partner and work with us. Because like I said multiple times during this live, we don't watch your shows because you're doing such a fabulous job at marketing and advertising. We watch your shows because we have a sense of community. We're going to watch your show and then we're going to jump on YouTube. We're going to jump on Instagram. We're going to jump on Twitter and we're going to talk about it. We're going to key. And it gives us a reason to come together and have fun and to talk.
It's literally turned into that. Exactly.
And that's what entertainment is in 2023. It's all about the community and the engagement. It's no longer just you sitting around with your family or your friends watching something on TV in a silo. That's not the way the world works anymore. It's not 1950. You know what I mean? It's not the way the world works. So if you are going to shut us down, you're basically shooting your own self in the foot. Because if we stop talking and we stop watching, you're dead. You're done.
Because they're
honestly, if I couldn't chat about it, I probably literally wouldn't watch it.
Absolutely not.
I'm not joking.
Absolutely not. Like if I didn't have this channel and I could come and talk to all of you guys, I would have stopped watching a long time ago. Because now there's so much other content out there to watch. The only reason why I watch is because of the community around it.
Yeah.
Not even for the show anymore, to be honest.
We wouldn't even know half these shows are coming on because they don't market anything.
Anything.
Like we have to hear from YouTube about like, oh, this show's coming back soon. Like
100%. This is the tea. This is the whatever. Like I'm not following NBC Universal to see what they're talking about on their social media channels.
Yeah,
absolutely
they're so
not.
ungrateful.
I'm following other content creators who are talking about the shows. Because that's where we get our information from now. So let them continue on this tirade and see how long their network lasts.
Yeah, I think they'll get it together pretty quickly. I'm sure someone's gonna. I'm sure someone, either Andy or that annoying assistant of his,
and
that
girl,
someone will come in and be like, "Hey, no, you can't do this."
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Melissa's involved, if that's really true, she really is crazy. She
I can't
really.
stand her.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm not saying Teresa is Miss Angel, but like Melissa, she's one of those I can't. She's not my type of people.
Yeah.
well,
I agree.
they are nuts. And I'm very shocked that Teresa didn't bring up the true, I mean, supposed story
Mhm.
about like their parents and such. Like, do you remember when Joe Judice was building that little add-on to that horrendous house of theirs?
Mhm.
It was because so the parents could move in, so that her
Mhm.
parents could move in. But my question was, well, why do they need to move in? Because supposedly,
Ooh.
supposedly they lost their house because supposedly Joe Gorga used their house for collateral for a
Ooh.
supposedly. Now what's the real well, actually it's not supposed because the documents, I literally read the documents, but supposedly
Yes, research.
but the supposed thing is that he did it without their knowledge. That's what's supposed.
Oh, that is
Like,
low.
Yikes.
And potential forged signatures.
That's
And part of me
disgusting.
believes it because
Yeah.
who's the real estate attorney who executed the document? Frank Catania.
I could see Joe. Like,
I
I'm
can
not
see
even
it.
shocked by this because he
And
gives
is
that
that the
sneaky,
real
like,
reason
weird,
why?
broody vibes.
And is that the real reason why the parents had the falling out with Joe and Melissa?
um, no, because they had problems before that.
For that?
They had. I mean, the problems were evident in their first episode at the christening.
Yeah.
Like that's why half the time they were siding with Joe Judice, even though he's like the worst. But you're bad if you have to side with Joe Judice and not your own son.
Yeah, but Melissa and Joe always got a great edit.
Mm-hmm.
And so we, the fans, were always like, oh, Teresa's the problem. I think the producers did that because Teresa had enough star power to
Carry it.
be liked enough. And
Yeah.
we were like, who's Melissa? Like, we don't know her. But meanwhile, behind the scenes, Melissa was writing to was in Carlos King's inbox like, hey, I'm the younger, prettier sister-in-law. You need to cast me. Those crazy sisters of hers.
I believe it.
Crazy sisters of hers all up and down Twitter, tweeting at these people, tweeting at Andy, hey, cast my sister. Like, like supposedly Bravo was like, do not bring those sisters around anymore. We don't want them.
Yeah, like apparently she was like aggressive about it.
I believe
it. Supposedly.
I remember it.
And Teresa's just like, I'm just happy the truth finally came out because it's always my word versus hers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how she never brought that up, especially about the parents and the house. I would have brought that out so quick, but again, I mean, I don't know.
Maybe she was doing it out of respect for her parents.
For her parents, yeah.
Maybe.
That's what it sounds like. It was more out of a respect for the parents than anything else.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because she already called him a B-boy, so like I don't think it was like because of him.
Yeah.
Well, Teresa says everything's going to come out this season. I'm wondering what the hell else is going to come out. Is the house stuff going to be on the season? I doubt it, but I don't know.
Yep.
I love when like people I always like didn't like, but I couldn't explain why, and all of a sudden it comes true.
Oh, that's a real thing. Mm-hmm. Where you're like, something's not right.
And everyone's like, I don't know. I like her. Blah, blah, blah. She's fun. I'm like, no, there's a vibe. Candy, you're always usually with me, I feel like. I feel like whenever you're like, no, there's something. And I'm like, yes, I agree with Candy. There is something. And then we have to wait like 2 or 3 seasons, sometimes longer. And then it comes out. True. Yeah.
Yep. Because I just get vibes. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, in like my like actual life,
people can read
my friends always laugh at me about this because like in my actual life, I don't know what it is, but anytime I encounter someone, they just automatically feel very easy around me and they just like talk. They just like spill. They just tell like their entire life story, everything they're going through, they just spill and I'm like, okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. I just have a very safe energy. And I also think it's because I'm very non-judgmental. Like people tell me anything and I genuinely do not judge them. And I think that's a good thing. And I want to always have that.
What's weird is that I could relate to that, even though I sound really judgy on here. I'm actually like really.
I mean,
not
all I
in
do
real
is
life.
judge people on here, but
but like in real life, I'm actually really not. And like
Yeah.
I'll be in the supermarket and someone will just come up to me, and next thing I know, they're telling me about their grandson and their concerns, and they're like, "I don't know, I just felt like I had to talk to you," and I'm like, "Here we go."
Yeah.
And it's just like I just treat it like as a like, okay, I guess this is like a sign I'm supposed to say. God wants me to say something to this person. But I know, I think you're just a healer. I think it's just like some people have that kind of like gift of energy. And you could tell that you're definitely drawn to more healing aspects anyway with your like self-love parts of your channel and stuff. So it makes sense.
Definitely.
Did you talk about Miami already?
We did.
Oh,
Miami was the first hour.
Oh, damn. I didn't realize you were up here that long. Oh.
I just went up here and run my mouth and chit chat.
I know. I was like, Jacob, where you at?
And then before this, I did a video on my skincare routine. How I get glowing skin, which is really fun. It was fun. But everybody shows up for the Bravo mess.
Right?
Oh, of course.
We like chomp at that the bits.
I want to do I think it's the 3rd season. Do you guys watch Belle Collective?
I've never watched that.
I don't even know what that is. What is it?
Okay. Belle Collective, it's a show on OWN, and it's about, I think they're in, I want to say Alabama, maybe? I think it's Alabama. But it's a group of like dynamic women, and they're entrepreneurs, and they kind of follow their lives. And I didn't watch too much of the 2nd season, but I did watch the 1st. And I want to watch the upcoming next season. I think I'm going to do reviews of that, because I feel like that would be like fun and sexy. And I really like the first.
It sounds
season.
familiar now, like the phrase Belle Collective. I feel like I've heard that.
I want to say they were in Alabama.
A lot of the shows on I feel like are in Alabama. Am I wrong, or maybe I'm just making that up because Carlos King show?
No, they're like in like Alabama, DC, all of that stuff. But I'm excited for it. Like I feel like, because I really like that one girl in the 1st season. I forgot what her name was. I think she was a dentist. But I thought she was so cute and fun. So I'm excited for that. I want to do some like not just Bravo, because NBC is getting crazy. So
right.
True. And so this is a Carlos show?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, he's really coming. I mean, I'm just like, wow, this is like just from being a New Jersey producer now. I mean, he's the only one putting out anything worth watching on that Oprah show on that channel. Right?
Yeah, 100%. So I'm excited, and I like Carlos King, and I like how he came out and talked about the whole Robin and Juan thing.
Oh, okay.
That was really interesting because he was spot on.
Except for when he said she should be fired.
Talk to OG?
She should be fired.
But he said no.
No, he said she should.
Oh, because I remember because he was like, no, because I think I want her to be held accountable. And I'm like, okay, Carlos. Stop.
Maybe
don't play into that.
And then
maybe he did that for 5 seconds and I like caught that part.
From what I saw, he said that she should be fired for it.
Yeah, like initially he was kind of basically saying that, but then when like he was like, do I think she should be fired? No. And here's why. And I was like, what? I was like, this is where you lost me, Carlos.
Yeah, I think Robin should be fired.
Oh yeah.
I'm not watching if she's not fired.
Yeah, I think she should be fired because I think I'm
not gonna normalize that kind of thing.
This is why I think she should be fired. Not so much just because she was lying about her life the entire time, because quiet as it's kept, I thought she was lying about her life since season 1.
Same.
Like this isn't like a new thing where we're like, oh my God, what
I'm not shocked.
Her and Juan aren't together. Like, so it's not even about her lying about her and Juan situation. To me, I feel sad for her, to be honest. To me, I'm more like, you feel that pathetic in yourself that you feel you have to get on this show and lie about this situation instead of just saying what the truth is. I feel bad for you. The reason why I think she should be fired is because of what her and Giselle and low-key Ashley got together and systematically lied on other people with really, really egregious lies. You know, I do think that Robin was in cahoots with
like
the
family destroying, just blatant lies.
Exactly. You know, going after Karen and going after Wendy and all of that stuff. So I'm like, I get it, girl. You were feeling some type of way about your particular situation. Maybe be demoted, maybe have a sit down or something like that. But where I think she should be fired is how far she took it against other people.
You want to hear something I just learned?
The problem, we need to send a message where it's, you can lie about your little life, go right ahead. But when you systematically try to destroy other people, that is where I think they need to send the clear message. That's the part that's really not okay. Because a lot of the women are lying about their own lives. Whatever, who cares?
But she's also so boring. So I mean, like that alone.
Boring.
How are you
alone? And we've been saying for seasons. Sorry.
She has a monotone voice.
That we wanted Robin gone. So why are you keeping her after all of this? Like, you're literally forcing someone on us that we never wanted in the first place.
It really feels like she's getting forced on us. That's so true.
You're forcing her on us.
If they keep her, it's literally like, that's a fact. They are forcing you to watch Robin, and it's getting weird.
Before this even happened, we didn't want Robin. We were saying fire her from before. And remember, she only got saved because Monique left the show. Remember that rumor going around that she was on the chopping block, but because Monique decided to leave the show, they decided to keep Robin.
Yeah.
Mia has to go too. I mean,
I agree. We could lose Mia.
I don't think she should come back this season.
Some weird tea that I just learned from another channel, aka Mims.
About Mia?
Is about Mia. Mims had some kind of like, I don't know how he got it.
Wait. Before you say that, I'm not talking about Mims in general, but I know that some other content creators, sometimes they dox people and do stuff like that. So if it's anything that's a doxing type situation, don't say it on my channel. But if it's not doxing, then you can say
it. Like doxing would be if I talk about him, or like what?
Doxing is when you expose somebody's personal information.
Oh yeah, no. I'm talking about Giselle. Okay. It was just something that was discussed about Giselle on the reunion.
Okay, that's fine.
It was a sneak peek that he was revealing.
Okay, that's fine.
Shout out to that channel. So I don't want to get you in trouble or whatever. I'm sure you support him too or whatever. Everyone loves everyone, right? Anyway.
No, it's not about, let me just be super, super clear. It's not about talking about another content creator in that way. It's just, I've seen with Potomac stuff, like for a very specific example, I've seen some people post the name and the photo of Juan's side girlfriend when she
I understand what you're saying.
Explicitly said she wanted to stay anonymous. Wow. And that's doxing someone when they say, please keep my identity and my name and my face anonymous, and you still post them. That's doxing somebody.
I understand.
So I was just saying, like,
don't repeat any
don't repeat any private information about someone when they've clearly wanted to stay anonymous, because I like to respect that. Like, I would never, like, I saw the photo and I saw the names and all of that stuff, and I personally would never expose somebody's personal information like that when they've said to keep them anonymous. That's what I meant by that. So nothing against Mems. He's great and perfect and fine. I was just saying I wanted to, because it felt like you were about to say something that might be like that, but it seems like you weren't. So go ahead.
No, yeah, no, I understand. Yeah. And I was just like, I didn't want to like step on anyone, you know what I mean? Then I was like, oh no, maybe I should, but like, yeah, I absolutely was not going to say anything regarding that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to like put you in a position either. So then I was like, oh no, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, but like, it was just regarding a little tea about the reunion and how apparently Giselle like targets Mia. And she starts bringing up kind of like what reminded me was what you were saying, how they make up these blatant, or not that they make up, or they'll even like take like super salacious, like what's it called? I almost told my age when I said rag mag. Remember that? But you know what I mean? Like Why can't I think
Rag
like
mag.
You know what I mean? Like Rag Mag would have been like Star Magazine, or like that's what my mom used to call them.
Oh, okay.
But you know what I mean? What are they called?
A tabloid?
Yeah. Why couldn't I think of that? That was scary.
It's okay.
Anyway, it would have been like tabloid kind of like salacious rumors, and they bring it to the surface like it's a fact. And then but she always blames it on the tabloid, or that she heard, or like whatever, so she could be like, oh, it's not me saying it. No, it is you saying it, and it's you choosing to actually now say it on TV. You know what I mean?
She actually said that.
And so like, yeah, apparently she was doing that on the reunion, and it's just like, here we go again. And it's like, I'm not a defender of Mia, but I'm just like, right is right and wrong is wrong. And I just felt like she was like, some of the stuff she was saying when she was basically attacking her business with Gordon, and some of the stuff she was saying actually like felt like, I'm not a business expertise, you know, I don't have like 5 degrees in business, but it's I feel like from what I've personally seen in others and stuff, or what I just know, I feel like it's that checked all the boxes, like some of the stuff she was saying. And I don't know, it just like felt weird and wrong the way Giselle basically said like that she like accused them of taking the funds to repurpose her house and stuff. Like super
like they were stealing from the business.
Yes, and she's like, and Giselle was like, "Is that why?" Blah 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 blah.
Oh my!
You know what feels bad about that? It's not even that Giselle is, you know, saying the tabloid stuff and all that, because Jacqueline's going to do the same exact thing, and we're all rooting for Jacqueline, right? Jacqueline's literally going to say the same exact stuff because she's going after her, be like, "You're not actually the CEO. You're not this. You're not that." You know what I think it is? The problem with Giselle doing it to Mia is what does Giselle have to stand on to go against Mia? Like, Mia has done nothing to you. Do you see what I'm saying? I think that's why it feels so wrong coming from Giselle. And that's why you see how it's so manipulated and calculated and trying to deflect and trying to target, because to be honest, Mia has been nothing but a lapdog for Giselle.
Right? She's been nothing but done her bidding.
Has done nothing but her bidding. She turned on Karen for Giselle. She turned on Jacqueline because
I was just going
of
to say
Giselle.
that, right?
100%. So I get why Jacqueline is going for her juggler. She's like, wait a minute, I've been your friends for how many years? And then you bring me on the show to be your partner, ride or die, and then you play me, you know, on the show, and you try and come at me about close your legs to married men and this, that, and the third. So I get why Jacqueline's like, well, let's talk about the business. Let's talk about this. But Giselle, why are you, and again, and it goes to why I said Robin should be fired. It's like, why are you going so hard against another cast member when that person has done nothing to you? Literally, Mia's been nothing but a mouthpiece for her and Robin.
True. And the other question is, why do these women even have to answer to Giselle?
Exactly.
I would just be like, excuse me, I would love to answer a few questions if you actually were honest with your life and showed anything but sugar.
Or if your name was Andy Cohen and you're the executive producer and the host, sure, then I would answer to you about the questions. But just like you said, who the hell is Giselle?
Yeah, like who are you?
Who are
I don't
you?
have to answer.
I know
you're
an
like
executive producer in your head, but you're not really one, boo-boo. Why don't you talk about the stuff that's going on in your life or in your closet? Or why don't you turn to your BFF Robin and be like, Robin, why were you lying about X, Y, and Z? Why weren't you showing X, Y, and Z? So you want to be judge and jury and executor when it comes to everybody else's business, but you're not telling anything about your life, and you don't have that same smoke for Robin. Because Mia has done, honestly, she's been nothing but a lapdog to the Green-Eyed Bandits. 100%, nothing but a lapdog. That's why she was even going after Wendy.
It sounded like she was like almost gonna cry.
Well,
because I think in that moment she realized how much she was being backstabbed.
Well, because Mia's not the brightest.
I know, poor baby.
Poor baby. Because she realized.
You said that Mia was about to cry?
She's like, damn, I got played.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Get her off the show.
I agree.
It was ridiculous.
I agree. Mia can go. Mia can go. And people are like, oh, keep Jacqueline. But to be honest, I
Why?
don't know exactly what does Jacqueline bring without the Mia arc. You know, Jacqueline doesn't have a story without Mia. So if we get rid of Mia, we need to get rid of Jacqueline. I know she's buttering up to Karen, and her and Karen are BFFs now. But I think that's just strategy for Karen because Mia turned on her at the very end. So it's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Mm-hmm. It's like an alliance, maybe. Like
it's an alliance on Karen's part, 100%. Because Karen's
and
very
another thing is I heard that her real job involves like top secret clearance, and I just know that like I've had family members that have had that, and I've had friends that have that currently, and you can barely have social media when you have that.
How's she on the show?
Let alone be on a reality TV show.
Well, then how is she on it then?
Maybe
she is on it.
More.
I don't know. She could definitely risk losing it.
Maybe that used to be her job, and
she
thought she was going to get a full-time
work,
and that's why she's confidently locking it with Gordon for Porsches.
Right? Well, when you live in the DMV area, government jobs and government contract jobs are like literally like what it is.
It's everything.
It's everything. It's literally the whole industry. And so when you have top secret clearance, that allows you access to it almost provides job security. And so for her to lose that over this mess would be, or I don't know, maybe she did lose it prior. Maybe that's why. Who knows? But yeah, I thought that was weird.
I hope she's not banking on being a main character on this show. Oh, she got kids. She got kids.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have time for this mess. Get off. Yep. Fame is a drug. Fame is really a drug.
You're cracking me up.
It's insane to me.
It's true.
They are the most insane to me storyline in recent years. 30 years of friendship gone.
Yep.
Oh, fame. That is insane to me. I'm just like, what is going on here? Fame is a drug.
It is a drug. We've seen people sacrifice their marriages, sacrifice the relationship with their children, sacrifice their freedom for fame, sacrifice decade-long friendships. You know, Jen Shaw's going to jail today. Like,
I think she's already there.
Oh my God, I can't stop squawking while I'm laughing.
Exactly.
And the saddest part is, I don't think either of them are coming back next season. So what was it for?
Exactly.
Yeah, was it worth it, guys? Like, come on.
We all can't be Teresa. It's crazy.
Insanity. But wait, what's supposed to happen next week on Vanderpump Rules then?
Oh,
they're going to do the podcast?
Yes. So next week, I think the big story is going to be Scheana doing the podcast with Tom Schwartz and trying to hook up Schwartz with Raquel. And then Katie feeling very backstabbed about that whole situation. I think that's going to be the big thing going on next.
Yeah, that's
and
so
then maybe
messy.
Lala was more like Randall. Oh, and then Lala is saying that Randall is engaged to a new chick. Yeah, she's saying that he's engaged.
She said that on Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah.
Who's he engaged to?
Some new
Apparently
girl.
He moved a chick in right like 2 days after when she moved out.
What in the world? You know, I kind of wish that Lisa Vanderpump had a little storyline, because when I saw her this week, I was like, I've never been like the biggest Lisa Vanderpump fan. Like everyone's like, oh, I love her. And I'm like, yeah, she's cool and all. But I was like, where you been? And I'm like, I want to see a little more of her. Like, what? I think that, I don't know.
I agree.
Because she's not on Housewives.
I was never like a diehard. I liked her, but like now that she's gone, I'm like, I feel her missing.
Yeah, it's definitely like, well, for me, it's definitely like you don't know what you have till it's gone. Because when I was watching the show, I was like, oh, I don't really care about Lisa. Now I'm like, damn, bring her back to Housewives, please. Yeah. I don't think that'll ever happen, but too bad. Yeah, she could have a storyline. I mean, I don't see why the hell not.
Maybe she will. You know, maybe she will. Like, we're in what, the second episode? And I do think that Lisa says to Lala what the other people won't say.
Oh.
You know, when she was like, how could you not know? about Randall and everything. And then Lala, turned on her lifetime movie tears. I can't believe you think that about me. I just know. It's like, Lala, shut up, girl. Please, miss me with the fake tears. Anyway, but Lisa basically said what we all were thinking. It's kind of like what everybody said to Erica Jane. How did you not know?
Yeah.
And that's really the question. How did you not know? And then we had her, her fake tears and her fake stories and all of that stuff, but you knew he was married. You knew you were cheating. You knew all of that. And I think she knew that he was fraudulent the deeper she got into the relationship. But I don't think she realized the depth of it or
how dark it got. Yeah.
How dark it got. And I also don't think she thought that he was going to lose it all. And I think that's why she got pregnant, was because she wanted to secure the bag. And then she left when she realized there was no bag. The emperor actually has no clothes. And he's being sued for $25 million. He's being allegedly investigated for inappropriateness with children and everything else going on. But I don't think that Lala's not a stupid woman. She would not have gotten pregnant by him unless she thought that the bag was really there. And that was going to be her plan. Whether or not she was going to marry him, she thought she could live off of child support.
Probably, yeah. What a mess.
I just I don't know. I believe her when she said she loved him, but I don't know. It's hard to picture.
I think at some point she did have a deep feeling for him. Do I think she was ever in love with him? No. Because he's not physically her type. She likes guys like James. She likes light-skinned black men. That's more her type. I think she has more actual feelings for James than she did for Randall.
Probably.
But she saw the money Randall was saying he had. Doing BJs for Range Rovers, and all of that. He put her in a lot of movies. She was in, I think, 3 of his movies at least.
Oh.
Yeah, she was in 3 of his movies.
Were they direct to DVD?
They were maybe streaming and but I
don't know. One was with Al Pacino or something.
They had limited. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. One of them was with heavy hitters with Kate Bosworth, Al Pacino,
Lala.
And Lala. And Lala.
Cover?
Yes. Let me see if I can find. Let me see.
I know. I never saw those movies, and I can't picture her. She had dark hair in one of them or something, right?
Yeah, that'd be like me up there. Just random.
Right? Me too.
One of these things is not like the others. What in the world?
I know.
Yeah, he's done a lot.
Good for her.
I can't.
That's right.
I'm an extra blood person, so I can't act to even save my life.
No, he did Midnight in the Sweetgrass or whatever it's called. That's with Megan Fox and what's his name? Bruce Willis.
Oh.
Yeah.
The one that she did, it started with an R. I remember. It was one word.
There's Silence, Boss Level. He did The Irishman. That's with Al Pacino. That's with all of them. He did End of Watch. He's done a lot.
It was a horror movie. It was the R, and it's an R word.
He did The Row, and it was
that's it.
that he did about the sorority girls, Sorority Row, and it was the horror flick, and that was the part 1 and part 2. And then he also did Gotti with John Travolta and his late wife. He's done a lot of stuff. He really has. But at the same time, he was still shading investors and being really shady and doing alleged drug deals and all of that stuff, and a couple years ago, remember, he was beefing with 50 Cent, and 50 Cent said, "You're the little Harvey Weinstein, but with less money and less influence."
Right.
And he was using the casting couch.
When did 50 Cent say that?
You don't remember?
It was a couple of years ago. It was a huge thing. Remember, he was
I remember they were beefing, but I don't remember him saying that.
And that's when we started calling Lala Lauren from Utah. That's what 50 Cent called her. He's like, "You need to pipe down Lauren from Utah."
Yeah.
No way. That's where that comes from?
The screenshots.
Because I just remember us calling 50 Fofty.
No, he called him 40.
Oh, I thought he called him Fofty.
It was like a typo.
It was a typo
It was
when
like
he said
Fofty.
Fofty. And so 50 started calling himself, he signed his text message Fofty.
Yeah. Well, Foudy. Like instead of 50, it was a typo and it said Foudy.
What a mess.
Yeah. Yeah. And now Lala's like, oh, I've made amends with 50 Cent. He was right all along. But during the beef, when she thought Randall had the money, she was all trying to be hardcore Lala. And he was like, sit down, Lauren from Utah.
Yeah, with her hoop earrings and
with the hoop earrings and the nails. And it's just like, girl, stop appropriating the culture. We know you. You're just another please.
Lauren from Utah is hilarious.
Lauren from Utah. You need to sit down and have several seats.
Yes, she's from Park City, where Meredith pretends to live.
Exactly.
Right? I know. I forget about that.
Not pretends to live.
Not gonna live in
Katie's
Utah.
from Utah too. They're both from Utah. That's why they made
Katie,
that cameo that time.
Yeah, Katie's from Utah and Lala's from Utah. Yeah, and you're right. And that's why they made the cameo at Salt Lake City.
Oh, I'm actually excited for next week's episode then. And I think the Potomac will be better than the whole season. I think that'll be better than the whole season.
I agree. Now, is Andy doing an additional sit down with Robin? Is that real?
Well, I thought it was a 90-minute part 3. So I just assumed it was the regular hour and then
the 30.
The extra with just Robin.
Yeah.
What is she going to say, honestly? Like, what's there to talk about?
And this is another thing.
None of us can stand her. Why do we need a one-on-one? This is ridiculous.
This is the thing. I would actually love to see the one-on-one, but only if it's done actually correctly. Like, I need Andy to ask her the actual real questions. Number one, stop saying, is Juan lying to you? And say directly, are you lying to us, Robin? Because that is the actual question. Are you lying, Robin? Not, oh, did Juan tell you this story and you're just believing him? No, Juan didn't tell Robin anything because Juan doesn't give an F. He's literally out of Fs to give. He doesn't care.
He can't even fake it.
That whole story about with the mistress and the hotel, that was a scheme Robin and Giselle came up with while on the podcast, 100%. Juan is doing Juan. He's not worried about it. So this is not a story that Juan fed to Robin and she's choosing to believe it because she's so like she was cheated on. She wants to come back. No, this was something that Tweedledee and Tweedledum came up with and they thought that they could just say that and it would all go away. So I need Andy Cohen to clock in and ask the actual question. Are you lying, Robin? Who actually made up that story? What did you know about the mistress? What about the other allegations? You know, does Juan and his friends go out and find women and girls to sexually pass around? Did his friend sexually expose himself to the woman? What about that? Do you feel bad for saying that a person who is claiming to be a victim of sexual inappropriateness at the least, assault at the most, do you feel bad saying that she should be on OnlyFans and that she's looking for her 15 minutes and claiming that she had sex with his friend?
Oh, is that what she said?
Yes. So he needs to ask the actual real questions. If it's this showing up and asking these questions because to me, even the Watch What Happens Live episode was whack as hell.
He was nice. He was too nice.
He was way too nice. It was so whack. He didn't ask any of the real questions.
Well, apparently
Ebony shouldn't have even been there. I don't know why she was.
I don't know why. It was awkward. But the guy at the bartender guy said on his podcast that there was way more that went on. He said it was way worse and they cut so much. He said his question even about what she did to Wendy was cut drastically. Yep. He's like, she actually got it handed to her a lot more, but they cut it so down.
And this is, I know Media Takeout is a suspect source. I know that. But what the bartender is saying does give credence to what that Media Takeout article said. When the person in the audience told them that Robin and Andy got into a very heated discussion. It was very heated. They're going after it. And then after they wrapped filming, he was like, you're not going to be on next season. Remember Media Takeout said that?
Yeah.
So this is giving more credence to that article now with the bartender what the bartender is saying.
Because even Andy's face was like, Robin, are you serious?
No, he was pissed. He was pissed.
You could like when she was like talking in circles like she always does, you could see his face. He was like, is she really serious right now?
See, that's the thing. It's like two things can be true. Like, I do think that Andy was genuinely pissed. I think he was also very embarrassed. And he was very pissed. But I also still think he did not ask the right questions. But I think that's a systemic problem with him, because him and whoever is on his team, they still aren't getting it. They're not getting what we see. They're not getting, they're just behind the ball consistently. And so that's why he was still asking like the wrong questions. I was like, please pull me up there, because I would ask her the right questions. I would be like, what did Giselle know and when did she know it? Who exactly did the mystery?
You would have like a clipboard and you would be like ready to go. And you would be like, you know how they like take like how Monique like licked her finger to turn the page?
I would be like, Exhibit A, Robin. Exhibit A.
You would have like a screen projector kind of set up, and you're like, and as you can see here on the visual behind us.
Yeah. And like there were so many missed opportunities to expose them. Like when she was like, oh, was I supposed to raise my hand and be like, I'm going to be the target? I would have been like, oh, so is that what you guys do? Do you get together and choose who you're going to target for this season?
Yeah, she was revealing that it was like we said. Yeah.
She was telling on herself. And you can see when Andy is getting fed a question in his ear, in his little earpiece. And whoever is in the earpiece, they need to shut up, because they're feeding him the wrong questions. I don't even blame Andy for this. He's booked and busy and he's an executive producer. Whoever is on his team, they need to be replaced, because they are feeding him the wrong questions. That's really what the problem is, because when you're a CEO, when you're an executive producer, you need the people under you to be on it. And that's why he's asking these weird questions that we don't care about or already know the answer to or do not believe, because who's ever feeding him the questions are feeding him the wrong ones.
Yeah, it's really weird, because it would seem, you would think that on some of these shows, at least, that the producers are quite in tune with what we are all saying, like
with
for
the pulse.
think about the about the Mauricio and Dorit thing, and how they included quite a few instances, like for example with that whole which wife would you sleep with, that I believe that they included that because they knew we've been talking on here. I don't think that it obviously didn't contribute to the story or anything, but so it's kind of like, what is going on there? It just
I think that's
populated.
Yeah,
but the producers are not the same as the Bravo people, because they outsource producers. So maybe those producers were just more like us, and they were doing their jobs when it comes to Bravo.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I think the boots on the ground producers are way more in touch.
Yep.
Way more in touch with what's going on. That's why, but that honestly, the boots on the ground producers saved Potomac as much as it could have with the flashbacks and all of that. And that really got us back invested in Potomac. But without the boots on the ground producers for Potomac, shout out to Eric. You know what I mean? It would have been an even bigger mess and nobody would watch.
Yeah.
And then I also, do you guys notice when Andy's on Watch What Happens Live or at the reunions, you can tell that he's reading the cards for the first time in real life. Like he's always like, oh yeah, that's a good question. And then he was like, and then even with Beverly Hills, he was like, oh, I didn't realize there was a rumor about Mauricio and Dorit. What's going on there? And it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And it's also like that to me is just such a lack of preparation. If I'm going to host anything, if I'm going to do like be on camera or do anything, I'm going to be prepared out of the a-hole. I'm going to know exactly the questions I'm asking. I'm going to know who I'm asking it to. I'm also going to think about critical follow-up questions. And I'm going to say to whoever my intern or my assistant or my researchers is, I need you to do a deep dive on what is being said on like social media about this. What is the temperature? What are they saying that we need to be answering to or addressing? And you can tell he's not doing that. Like if I see a person reading a card and then you can actually see in his face the wheels turning, that he's this is the first time he's ever said this or had this happen.
Yeah, that's
you're not even being prepared. That's a lack of preparation, and that's very unprofessional.
Yeah, it's weird how
it's weird. It's weird. And you can see in his face, he's reading the card for the first time.
Yeah, it's like, how are you running a show and you're just
he says it all the time. He's like, oh, that's a good question. Really, executive producer?
Like, yeah, you didn't read this before? Come on.
You didn't read this beforehand? He's phoning
Who's driving the boat?
He's phoning it in. I would have had so many questions for Robin. So many questions. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And then when she was like, oh, I know all this stuff about Karen, I would have been like, this isn't about Karen. This is about you and your life. You know, is that when you guys sat down and said, we're going to target Karen? Are we going to target Chris?
Hmm.
And then also when she was like, oh, well, no, because it wasn't a big deal in our life when we were filming, we already worked through it. I would have been like, oh, but
the lies.
The lies, and also, well, like, blue eyes isn't an issue during filming because we've never even seen a real blue eyes, but yet you brought that up every single episode against Karen, right?
We've been hearing about blue eyes for the last 5 seasons.
Exactly.
And not to mention when they're doing
talking about them.
Right.
Exactly.
And when they were bringing up the prenup, that would actually been the opportune time to talk about what you and Juan went through because you're bringing up an infidelity clause. Hello.
Yeah. Why do you need the infidelity clause? Oh, we need it because during the pandemic, you know, Juan was caught communicating with the person and this, blah, 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 blah. And again, their story doesn't make any sense. Why, if Juan was not at the hotel to get with the woman, the girl, why was he there in the first place? And how does he even know her? I'm not going to show up at a hotel, pay for a hotel room to someone that I don't really know like that.
I would have been like, I didn't know Juan was that charitable.
None of it made sense. And especially when they tried to say, oh, the girl slept with Juan's friend. Well, if the girl slept with Juan's friend, why didn't the friend pay for the hotel room?
But I thought she was there to meet a Baltimore Ravens player.
Exactly. Exactly.
What is going on?
Exactly. Why didn't he pay for the hotel? Because I'm pretty sure the person who, you know, got knocked the boots and smashed, they're the one paying for the hotel. And also, you usually put your card down when you check in.
Right. You can't. Yeah. And it has to be the card that gave them over the phone or online. They won't take another card.
Exactly.
If you're like, oh, I have this. So please.
The lies.
And they authorize it. So like they have it. Like they don't only have it, but they authorize it to make sure you can even afford it and there's money in it.
Yeah. Oh, true.
Yeah, they run the check. And then also for checkout, because some people are like, oh no, well, like maybe he brought the card, you know, for checkout and you have to have your ID and she lost her stuff. I was like, no, you don't. Not in this day and age. You don't even have to check out anymore. You just leave the room and they just run the card. Like, and they'll like email you an invoice, which is why she had the proof. That's how she had the receipt. Yeah,
all you have to do is give them the key, or you don't even have to give it. Half the time they have a little basket or like a drop-off box or something.
You do a drop-off box, 100%.
So what in the world? This is how what year does Robin think it is? It's 1999? Because you don't.
Yes, I was literally going to say 1999.
It's and this is the thing. The story.
I feel like the year she peaked.
Clearly, a story that her and Giselle came up with. Oh. I don't think that this is a story Juan told her to cover for himself. This is a story Giselle and Robin came up with to cover for themselves. Juan cannot even be bothered to show up for Family Fun Day while she's filming. You think he could be bothered to even come up with a lie for her when they're not even really in a real relationship?
I can picture him going or her going to him and be like, Juan, oh my God, this is actually out what they do.
Like, and he was like, shut up, Rob.
He was like, Rob, you know, I don't care about that. You figure this out. This is your show. You and Giselle go do your thing. And she's like, okay.
Yeah.
Giselle, ring, ring.
What are we going to say? Because you could even tell on the Reasonably Shady podcast that the two of them had got together to talk about what they were going to say. Because Giselle was like, yeah, girl, you right. Yep. Mm-hmm. And then what happened? And then Robin with her lie himself. And then, so I already knew. And it's just
you listened?
Oh, yes, I listened.
Oh, yes. No. I was asleep.
Not to the Patreon. Not to the Patreon. I listened to the free episode. Not, please. They're not getting a nickel from me. But you could even tell when they were talking that they made it up. Also, on the Watch What Happens Live, when Robin was talking about what happened, you could tell it was a lie that she was remembering the lie. She was not retelling what was told to her because there's a different cadence. There's a different energy. You carry yourself a certain way. You talk a certain way when you're retelling a story somebody told you versus you're remembering a lie that you made up. And everything about Robin's energy and the way she was talking and the stuttering and the this and the that, she so clearly was repeating a lie she made up. She was not retelling something that somebody told her. I don't think Juan has anything to do with this. I don't think Juan cares. I think Juan is living his life.
No, he doesn't.
He's like, I don't want to get caught up in this lawsuit I'm in. He's dipping it and doing it with the blonde girl in Georgetown. He's hanging out with his sons, and Juan is living his life. Just like the mistress said, it was a relationship for TV. They thought it was their obligations and their co-parents. And that's what Juan himself said season 1. If it wasn't for the kids, I would have been gone. Juan cannot even be bothered to come to a reunion. Juan cannot be bothered to even film an actual scene with Robin where it actually looks anyway authentic. He pops in, rolls his eyes, and pops out. Remember last season he rolled up the car thing on her and then drove off? Remember that?
Wait, what? No, what?
Yes, not this season, but last season. She was in her warehouse or whatever it was for her hats. And then he came.
Oh, he walked off. Yeah, I remember that.
And he walked off. And then she followed him in the parking lot. And she was like, Juan. And he was like, I can't. He was like, I can't, Rob.
Oh,
and he rolled up the car window in her face and then drove off. And she stood there looking stupid.
And remember when he told her that she was getting up at 11, after lunch, and the kids weren't going?
Yeah, he was like, it's not sexy. Like, you need to get up, and why are you sleeping in? And I think she had depression, some form of that. That's actually what I think was going on there.
I do too.
But it was very clear that they were not sleeping in the same room, if the same home, but definitely not the same room. So I don't think that Juan has displayed that he has an F to give. And I really do not think he would even be bothered to come up with this bogus, nonsensical story for Robin. Literally doesn't make any type of sense. This bogus story clearly came from the Green-Eyed Bandits themselves.
And it sounds like some cockamoo that they would come up with too.
They've been doing lies and BS the entire time. Oh, Chris made me feel so uncomfortable. This married man is in the hotel room with me, and I feel so uncomfortable. It's like, did Chris make you feel uncomfortable, or is it the fact that he's married? And you're like, if you were married and he was married, would that make it any better? Like her whole story with that also didn't make any sense. Like, what actually made you feel uncomfortable? Was it Chris? Or was it the fact that he's married? Do you feel uncomfortable around all married men? Or if Chris was single, would it be cool? Like, even that story didn't make any sense and clearly didn't track, and she got exposed for those lies. They sit around and make up these cockamamie stories that we clearly see through. And they sat around and made up this cockamamie story about. That's why the mistress, when she went on Giorgio Says YouTube, she said,
she kept going, that's outrageous.
She kept saying, like, I don't know what they were talking about. That doesn't even make any sense. And she also said how they said, oh, she wanted Juan to send her $4,000 on Zelle, but she's Canadian and Zelle is not a Canadian company. It's
and the so-called receipt that Robin had, it had Brittany next to it. I'm pretty sure that girl's name wasn't Brittany.
I don't know what her name was because we're not doxing anybody.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what her name was, and she wants to stay anonymous. But what I will say is this: I believed the mistress. She was way more believable. She spoke from a place of retelling what happened to her. You could tell she wasn't making stuff up. You could tell she wasn't lying. You could tell she felt very disturbed and afraid based on what she said about the friend exposing himself, and how when that happened, it really scared her. And that was the last time she really talked to Juan. And I believe it, because this is the thing. Both stories, Robin's made up story, because of course you take a little bit of the truth to make your lie believable, and the mistress's story, and I hate calling her a mistress, but I'll just say that to keep it clean, confirm the idea or the notion of the narrative that Juan and his friends get women and they pass them around sexually. Both of them give credence to that. It's exactly what the mistress said. She was not signed up for having any sexual encounter with his